So today I have a story for you guys, and I've been debating if I should tell this story on my channel or not, just because of what it actually is, and I wanted to save it for a milestone, but I've been told to do it by a couple people, and so I really think that you guys will enjoy this story. It's kind of a different story from what I will tell, I guess, because I don't have too many stories like this. However, this is a pretty cool story, and I hope you guys do enjoy. So everybody sit back, relax, and enjoy this story, because this is the story of when I met a real-life pedophile. So some background information that you need to know about this video before I actually begin this story is, I don't know if you guys know what Uvu is, but it's kind of a thing like FaceTime, but you can get it on like all devices, so like Androids and things like that. And both me and Reaper have Uvus. Now, one day, I think I was at his house, I'm not really sure, we get a friend request from this guy, and we are just gonna call this guy David, alright? I'm not gonna use his real name, but basically, his name is Mr. David. Now, Mr. David, I'm not really sure, I didn't know who he was, obviously, but he added me, so I was like, okay, you know, I'll just talk to him, see who he is, get to know the guy, before I judge him. Now, his profile picture was of this Indian guy, and this Indian guy particularly looked about 40 years old, right? So, me and Reaper were both very suspicious, because this guy added us both at, like, the same exact time. Now, Mr. David was a little bit creepy. So one day, Reaper decides that he's going to add Mr. David back, and he's going to talk to him. So Reaper adds him, and as soon as he adds Mr. David texts Reaper. And I should say message, but I'm just going to say text just for the sake of the video. And he says, "How old are you?" So this is the first question that he asks. Now, this is a little bit creepy off the start already, but it makes it even more creepy that he's going to ask us how old we are, obviously. And so, right after that, like, without even pausing or waiting for an answer, he goes, "Who are you?" Now, he's going to add us, but before he even asks us who we are, he needs to know how old we are. So that's even more creepy. So just to add to... And so Reaper, he decides to play this smart, and he replies... So Mr. David, after Reaper says, "Who are you?" he replies with, "Someone not known to you." So why is he going to add us if he knows that we don't know him? That's just kind of a little bit creepy. Now, me and Reaper, we don't have our profile pictures as, like, our actual selves. Mine is a picture of, like, a paperclip trumpet sort of thing. And Reaper's is a picture of Randy from South Park. I don't know if you guys watch South Park, but you should if you don't. It's a great show. So I would say that the conversation goes along very creepily like this for a good half an hour until Mr. David decides that he's going to call us. So this first time that he calls us, me and Reaper panic. We're like, okay, well, he's obviously a pedophile, so we don't want to answer. So we sit there and we ignore it, and we just don't respond. And so we're like, okay, you know, that's a little bit creepy. We're gonna leave this alone because we don't want to get hurt or anything. We don't want to get in trouble. And so we leave it alone, and then he continues to text us like, "Who are you? How old are you? What is your name?" And just creepy stuff like that. But I guess anybody who added you will ask those questions. He just particularly seemed very creepy about it. And after a while, he starts to leave us alone. And he starts talking, and he's not really being creepy anymore. He's like, okay, you know, just stop talking to me or whatever. So we decide that we're gonna fuck with him. Now, if you guys ever, like, meet a pedophile or anything, just do not do this. This was a really stupid idea. But me and Reaper thought it would be hilarious. So, basically what we did is we called him, and we turned our camera off, and he's sitting there, and now it's some Indian guy, and I'm pretty sure he still lives with his mom, because I could hear some old lady shouting in the background. But like I said, he did look like he was 40, 50 years old, so it could have been his wife or sister or something. Now, when he answered, it looked like he was chewing on sunflower seeds or gum or something like that. And so we didn't really think of it, but we just started making fun of him. We're like, "What are you eating over there?" And basically we were just teasing him, and he was like, show your faces. I'm not gonna try and imitate his accent because I can't do accents because I'm a little bit retarded. But it gets to the point where he just hangs up because he's so annoyed. He's like, okay, these kids are obviously trolling me. I'm just gonna leave this alone. And so we're not done. Me and Reaper are not satisfied. So me and Reaper call him back, I'd say a good 3 times before he answers. And I'm not gonna say what we said or anything, but basically we were just trolling him more and more and more until eventually he left us alone. Now skip forward, I'd say a day or 2. Me and Reaper check our UVUs, and we go into friend requests, and we both have a friend request from a guy named Make Me Friend Please, smiley face. And we were like, oh my god, this could be Mr. David. And so me and Tyler look at this, and he was the first one to add Mr. David, and so he was also the first one to add Make Me Friend. So as soon as Reaper adds Make Me Friend Please, he sends what looks like a botted message, and it says, boy from India. Now, as soon as me and Reaper saw this, we were like, oh no, dude, this has got to be Mr. David. Like, there's no way that this is not Mr. David. So we're sitting there, and Tyler reads the rest of the message, because that was only a small portion. And Mr. David, in the message, he continues to say, please have cam sex with me if you are a girl. Now, both me and Reaper were both weirded out by this. We were like, okay, this guy is really creepy. So this time, we decided that we weren't going to screw with him, and we were just going to leave it alone, because if we did continue to talk to him, then he, would have been even more creepy. He could have added us again. And who knows, maybe he has, like, friends that do the same thing, and Make Me Friend was actually Mr. David's friend. Now, mind you, on UVU, Mr. David's name was literally Mr. David. Like I said, I'm not going to use his real name, but it was Mr. and then his name. I don't know if it was his first name or his last name, but it was just one, word. So this whole situation was really creepy for me and Reaper, and I just wanted to share it with you guys because I thought it would make for an interesting story, especially for the Myth RC. If you guys don't know about the Myth RC, I posted a video about it yesterday, and you can also click the links in the description to visit their YouTube channel. I believe it's their most recent video. They might have put out a teamtage, but so be sure to check the links in the description, as well as leave a like on this video if you did enjoy. It took me a long time to record this video. I don't know if it's going to be short or not, because okay, dude, this is what happens when you try and record a video. Whenever I record my videos, I pause a lot, and I don't talk for, minutes at a time. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, like I was saying before, please be sure to leave a like, and if you are new here, please subscribe. Also, follow me on Twitter. I have the link in my description of all of my videos. And also be sure to check out the leaders in the description below as well, because they are the ones hosting the RC, and they deserve some love. Yeah, guys, stay frosty, and peace out, everybody.